I found Relive over 20 years ago at a time when I was very sick with fibromyalgia. I had 3 different autoimmune problems, also had systemic candida, which was deadly in my heart and in my lungs, and also a weak muscle disease, myasthenia gravis. And all those conditions combined, I couldn't take care of my 6 kids properly. I was crawling up the stairs in bed most of the time, and I just felt like my life was over at the age of 45. But you know, taking these incredible products, and I only started them because of the money-back guarantee, because we were on the verge of bankruptcy and losing our home because of all the medical debt that I had on credit cards. It was a nightmare. Relive was the answer for that, too. I just started taking the products very aggressively and just felt life in my body. Total transformation, turnaround with depression and anxiety and pain and brain fog and all kinds of things that just debilitated me, shut down my life. And I started living again. And, you know, people noticed and they asked me, why are you looking so young and energetic? You've lost all this weight. Going from a size 14 down to a size 4 in my first year was amazing. But even before that, after just a few months, people saw the difference and ran after me. And, you know, God put a mentor in my life that said, you need to be a master affiliate because that will open the doorway to wealth. That was totally not on my radar, but he was right because within 60 days I made over $6,000. Fast forward in a number of years, we were at the $1 million earning point. I mean, incredible. And now it's, you know, 10 years later, doubled. It's been just a journey of joy because of a high sense of purpose. It's not just about me getting all my needs fulfilled. It's about helping others get their needs fulfilled. And it's just been the most glorious, high sense of purpose and ministry. I'm a pastor. I teach in a ministry school and pastor students. And it's just, this is a ministry, a very high ministry. I love it. I love being a part of Relive.
I can tell, Norma, and it just comes across the phone, and we all appreciate you so much. And by the way, you just had a trip that the company sent you on to Cancun, if I'm not mistaken. Tell me about that.
Well, every Relive trip is a honeymoon. That's how I look at it. We've been married for 38 years, and we've been on over 38 trips with Relive, many more than that. And it was just a glorious place. Just Relive always picks the primo top 5-star resorts and primo things, fun things to do. They pay for everything, and we get to just be in relationship and have fun with other like-minded quality people who want to change the world. It's just the most fun time of our year to go on these Relive trips, and we go every year. It's amazing.
It is amazing, Norman, and people are so delightful in Relive, and like you say, they're just so positive. And
I'm 55. I am the mother of 7 children. I was diagnosed with metaplastic triple-negative breast cancer last July. Really, the definitive date where I've got exactly what it was about July 1st. I went into pretty much a tailspin on what you're going to do, the aggressive nature of the cancer, because it's a young woman's cancer, not my genetics. There's no genetic predisposition in my family. They did all that blood work. It came back nothing. I was in chemo in less than 2 weeks from that diagnosis. My intervals between the treatments was 2 weeks for the first phase of chemo. So had my treatment July 15th. July 30th came in for my second treatment, and the tumor itself was high enough positioned almost under my armpit that I could see it and I could feel it. I could tell that it was not getting smaller in size. It was actually getting bigger in size after the chemo treatment. So I was concerned because they had made it very clear a triple-negative cancer is not the kind that we wanted to see mine be. And when it was sad news. So I went in for my second treatment. The oncologist measured the tumor on external measurements. They'd done all kinds of internal measurements. As God would have it, because I am one of those that believes strongly in that, a lady called me for the second time. Her name is Rosemary Bell. She had called me the first week after my treatment, and I felt so bad I couldn't talk to her. And I'm a nutrition freak. I own a feed store and feed professional equine athletes and have for 13 years. So I'm always talking nutrition and low carbohydrates and good proteins. It's just it's my verbiage. So when she called me and wanted to sell me something, I thought, oh, geez, I don't have time and I feel horrible. I felt really bad. So she said, can I call you back? So lo and behold, she calls me back the day of my second treatment, and I am scared at this point. So I'm like, okay, I'll listen to Miss Rosemary and see what she says. So she tells me about Reliz. I'm blown away that it's a company that is in my backyard, and I've never heard of it. First of all, that is really weird. I live 25 minutes from the plant. And I said, she gave me a website, lunison.com, and said, you need to go take a look at the research. There's a lot of research out there. It's just an amazing superfood that will feed your body at all, at the cellular level. And I understood that. So I went to the Lunison website, looked at that peptide research on Lunison and soy, and realized quickly that I already knew about this research. I'd heard about it about 18, 19 years ago, and was impressed then and told myself in my heart that if I ever had cancer, I would definitely be on something that had soy in it because of what it does with the cancer cells, because of what I had read and researched. So called her back, said, hey, when can I have it? How can I get it? It was on my doorstep in less than an hour. A good friend of mine is also a mutual user distributor of the Relive products, and she lives right around the corner. So I started that day, began a protocol of what would be considered 6 shakes, 3 full scoops of the Now product, and a dozen of the capsules. And I took them in intervals at breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then 3 of the capsules right before I went to bed. Continued 5 months of chemo. December 30th, the tumor was removed. They had told my family, because I was in recovery, that if they hadn't marked the tumor with a marker at the biopsy time, they would not have been able to find it because it was non-existent. They couldn't have seen it, no tissue indicated, but they went ahead and took out a scoop of tissue at that zone, and then they removed one of my lymph nodes, well, 3 lymph nodes, one which had been positive with cancer. I was a stage 2B is where they classified me, which means it's metastasized. So all the pathology came back on that tissue within about less than really 48 hours. And I had 0 cancer cells in any of the tissue that they removed. Pretty unusual for the type of aggressive cancer that it is, because typically with metaplastic carcinoma, which is the technical term, there's a lot of chemo resistance. And so oftentimes these tumors have to just be removed big because they don't respond to the chemos and the drugs that are out there. So 6 weeks of radiation, several things I have to say. I continued to be a daily mass communicant, which meant I had energy that most chemo patients don't have. I had many people tell me that my skin and my eyes and my complexion looked beautiful, even though I was a hairless little creature. I didn't think I looked so beautiful, but they did. I didn't lose any weight. I never threw up. I had what are normal side effects to chemo, but none of them were lingering. Taxol was one of the drugs they gave me a lot of for 3 months every week, and it causes neuropathy. I had very slight neuropathy in the edge of one of my fingers, and once in a while, if I'm on my feet for a long time, 8-10 hours, I can feel a little bit of tingling in my feet, but that's really very, very functional. But it is a high risk that a lot of chemo patients end up with. Little brain fog,
Lisa,
but nothing bad.
Lisa, you got some amazing results, and I want to point out to everyone that we don't make any health claims in Relive. We know that the miracle is the body, as you know, Lisa.
Oh, yeah.
And if you put the proper nutrition into the body, the superfood, the patented nutrition that we have in Relive, amazing things can happen. After all of those results, and congratulations, Lisa, that is an incredible story. Talk to me a little bit about how you went out there and took third place in the bonuses for March and just got a check for $3,000. I mean, you've gone from some bad stories and relived some of your life, and now you've got some good stories. So quickly tell me what you did.
Well, I'll try not to get emotional, but anyhow.
That's okay.
I'm such an emotional ninny. I would say most of the credit must be given to good dear friends of mine who observed me through this challenge. They watched me. They knew I was going through the fight for my life. And they would ask me questions about what are you doing? I mean, they couldn't believe I was still at Mass every day, or they couldn't believe I would be at a school function, or I would be here or there. You look good. Well, you can't help it not tell them what you're doing. And I could not help but tell them about the science that I understood 18 years ago. And here it was, like right in my face again. So that is really, I would say, divine, really divine friends and family members who trust that I'm not one, and I really am not one, if people know me, to jump into something blindly. I do a lot of research. I like to understand how something is actually going to work in my body. I am a superfood nutrition freak. I have a store. My store is called A+ Nutritional Feeds, but it's for animals. And I've been selling animals good nutrition for years. And so it's something that people know about me. So that really helps that I'm authentically sharing something that I believe in, and then them just looking at me and watching and observing my challenge and the capacity for me to step up to it. That really led to the 3 people that are, I think it's 3 or 4, probably 4 at this point, master affiliates that I've got. And God bless Rosemary Bell, because she really did juggle my people for me while I was not really of the energy level to be able to do it, going through the chemo and the surgery and things.
Well, Lisa, let me just congratulate you on one, a remarkable recovery, and just getting on these Relive products and the way they've changed you, and going out there and having that moral obligation to go out there and tell other people what these products have done for you. And if we would all on this phone tell at least one person every day about these phenomenal products, we could change the health of families, we could change the health of the nation, we could change the health of the world. Thank you so much, Lisa. I want to thank all my guests.